What is a third-party beneficiary? Have you ever wondered how someone who isn't part of a contract can still benefit from it? This is where the concept of a third-party beneficiary comes into play. A third-party beneficiary is a person or entity that is not one of the original parties to a contract but is intended by the contracting parties to receive a benefit from that contract. This means that even though they did not negotiate or sign the contract, they stand to gain rights or advantages from its performance. In the world of contract law, rights and obligations usually exist only between the parties who formed the agreement. However, when a contract explicitly or implicitly intends to benefit a third party, that third party may have enforceable rights under the contract. For a third party to qualify as a beneficiary with legal standing, the benefit must be intended rather than incidental. This intention is often expressed by naming the third party in the contract or including a third-party beneficiary clause. There are two main types of third-party beneficiaries you should know about. First, we have intended beneficiaries. These are third parties whom the contracting parties specifically intend to benefit. They have the legal right to enforce the contract if the benefit is not provided. A great example is a life insurance policy. In this case, the insured contracts with the insurer to pay benefits to a named beneficiary who is a third party to the contract. On the other hand, we have incidental beneficiaries. These parties may benefit from a contract's performance but were not intended to benefit. Unfortunately, they do not have enforceable rights under the contract. Understanding third-party beneficiaries is important in various practical contexts. For instance, consider a parent paying tuition for their child's education. Here, the child is the intended beneficiary who can enforce the contract if necessary. Another example is a subcontractor agreeing to perform work that benefits a project owner, who is not a party to the subcontract but is an intended third-party beneficiary. In commercial leases or service contracts, a third party might be promised a benefit, such as a business expecting customers from a larger tenant's presence. To establish third-party beneficiary status, courts look for clear evidence that the contracting parties intended to confer a benefit on the third party and that this intent is irrevocable. If these conditions are met, the third-party beneficiary may sue to enforce the contract or claim damages if the contract is breached. In essence, a third-party beneficiary is someone who, although not involved in making the contract, has rights to enforce or benefit from it because the parties who made the contract intended to provide them with a benefit. This concept plays a key role in contract law and is essential for anyone preparing for the bar exam. Understanding who may have standing to enforce contractual rights beyond the immediate parties is vital for success in your studies and future legal practice.